Let's go to Cadbury World in Birmingham. Entrance was made to look like a cocoa tree forest. At the entrance, we got Santa-shaped dairy milk chocolate. The scenery was nice, so we took some photos. The history of chocolate is explained fully by screens.
However, the voyage was not without risk, as English and Dutch pirates were constantly attacking and capturing treasure ships. Look, I found a treasure. What's this? This is just bags of sheets drop-ins. Get rid of it.
Signorita, uno pacchetto di cioccolato.
Just as I suspected, my fellow countrymen absolutely adore the taste of chocolate. Just look around. Everyone is drinking it. Chocolate and cocoa arrived in England under Cromwell, but didn't gain popularity until the restoration of King Charles II, when it became popular both at court and with the wealthy. Samuel Pepys, the famous diarist, wrote of it the day after the coronation of Charles II. Drink chocolate.
Father Lord founded the Birmingham, and set up his Birmingham drinker as Birmingham was a great place.
As cocoa became cheaper, more people could afford to drink it, and apothecaries such as Fry and grocers such as Cadbury began to experiment with chocolate manufacture.
That's when my brother Benjamin joined me, and together we formed Cadbury Brothers. With more space, we could now prepare a cocoa powder and an eating chocolate that could be packed and sold. That was when my younger son, George, joined us.
George introduced many benefits for the workforce, such as half-day holidays, a sick club, and many improvements in the factory.
And Richard.
I sent my son George to Switzerland to find out how chocolate was made, using fresh milk. We called it Cadbury's Dairy Milk. It became so popular with its distinctive taste that sales exceeded all our best expectations. And within a short while, it had become our best-selling chocolate. In 1919, we merged with Fry, and the company went from strength to strength.
So you see that big things have their roots in the smallest beginnings.
Right, everyone in the next theatre, the purple bench shake, the yellow ones do not. If you'd like to make your way forward and use the side doors.
See a father and his team planting our young cocoa trees. Hello there! Once each pod has been cut, it is cut open, so that all of the beans and sticky pulp can be scooped out to be fermented in a heap and then dried in the hot sun until they've turned a rich brown colour. Once the beans are dried, they are tested for their quality before being loaded onto a cargo ship to be transported to England. They are then taken to our factory in Chirk for processing. Now, first the beans must be sorted and physically cleaned to remove any stones, dust and string that have come across with the beans from Africa. This is done using a stream of air and by passing the beans over vibrating sieves. The raw cocoa beans are now pasteurized using very hot steam. The clean cocoa beans are now taken to be roasted. revolving tubular gas-fired ovens. The beans are then cooled and are ready to have their shells removed through a process called winnowing. This is done by passing the wicker beans over a series of vibrating trays and hitting them with breaker arms. The shell is then blown away, and the remaining pieces of bean are called nibs. The nibs are now ground up in large mills. This process generates heat, which helps to transform the nibs into a thick chocolate-coloured liquid called cocoa liquor or mass. Some cocoa liquor is taken to our factory at Marlborough for further processing, and the rest of the liquor is pressed to extract the cocoa butter. The refined cocoa butter is now taken to Bourneville, where we will catch up with it later. Meanwhile, the cocoa liquor that has been taken to Marlborough is pumped into storage tanks, ready to be turned into chocolate crumb. Over 150 tons of sugar and 500,000 litres of fresh full cream milk are delivered to Marlborough every day to be used in this process. But first, the milk must be pasteurised and then evaporated to remove most of the water before sugar can be added to produce a sweetened condensed milk. The liquid milk and sugar solution is now heated again before the cocoa liquor from Chirk is added and thoroughly mixed to create a thick paste. The paste is then squeezed between steam-heated rollers under a huge vacuum, causing the paste to turn into a powder. The resulting crumb is scraped from the rollers, dried in a flow of hot air, and blown into storage silos. The crumb is now taken to Bourneville in tankers, where it is ground and mixed into a paste with this, the cocoa butter, which came from Chirk earlier. The paste is then refined into a flake before being conched or mixed to form a liquid chocolate. This liquid chocolate is used to make all our famous milk chocolate products.
They made food bowls and teapots out of chocolate. They gave us melted chocolate in a pot and they let us choose 2 toppings.
We're going to wait until people to get their chocolate pots so about the crowd.
It's a...
You all having a good day so far? What toppings did you get? You have 2 pots, what's this like? You should. You sure?
Yeah, that's mine.
I'll be watching you, making sure you don't eat them, yeah.
She's so greedy.
What did you get?
Muffins and the Oreo.
Yeah.
We get also Oreo and muffins from my
None of that caramel thing I got.
You guys like the Oreo, don't you?
Yeah.
How about you? What did you get?
Oreo and white chocolate.
Oreo again? Everyone got Oreos?
Oreos.
Hey, I'm going to ask another person. Say Oreo, what did you get? No Oreos. Got it. One person, final. Right, welcome to Chocolate. Feel free to come on over. You're going to be hearing it anyway because I'm loud. So you might as well watch it. So, my name's Owen and welcome to Chocolate Making. We call it that because we make chocolate. Very simple naming scheme. So, if you look into your windows on either side, we have our lovely chocolate making team who are making all of your favourite chocolates that you can buy in the shop, from teapots to lollies to shoes, all of those lovely things that are nice and decorated. But I have some news. The chocolate that they make, they do it a lot differently. The way that we used to over 100 years ago during the Victorian era when Cadbury's first started. So, in those rooms you may notice we've got some machines. Obviously before, all those machines we had to do all of it by hand, which is the big difference. Because machines weren't introduced into chocolate making until the early 1920s, which is a little over 100 years after Cadbury's had started. So there's a long period of time and they did it by hand. Now, I keep mentioning tempering, but I haven't quite explained what it actually is yet, so you're all looking a little bit confused, especially you. So, what tempering is, it's the process of cooling down your chocolate while keeping it nice and smooth. If you don't temper your chocolate, it ends up a little bit dull and grainy, just like all of this old chocolate on my scraper, which isn't too nice to eat. Because as you're all eating your chocolate pots now, you can all tell me that the chocolate is nice and smooth and it's delicious, yeah? So, to keep it like that, we need to do tempering. And in order to do tempering, I need some chocolate. So I will be getting the help from one machine today, this one right here. It's essentially a chocolate fountain at this point. It keeps my chocolate at a very toasty 45 degrees Celsius, almost halfway to boiling. So it's very, very hot. So what we need to do is cool it down. Now, I have a marble countertop right here. It's going to cool down our chocolate nice and quickly because it's a very good conductor of heat. So, the way we begin this is a big chocolate pour onto our table, just like so. And we end up with a very big chocolate button. We've got our two tools just right here. This is the bit that I pay attention to because you'll be trying this out in a little bit downstairs and you'll have a go. So, spreading it out nice and thin, just like some chocolate spread on toast. And then we're going to be folding it all back together again, making sure all those ingredients are mixed around throughout your chocolate, keeping it nice and smooth. As you may be able to tell, my chocolate is a lot thicker already. So, that's it. Tempering's finished. For how important it is, it's a quite quick process. We only do it once or twice just to make sure our temperature is lowered to a point that we can use it. But, just like machines, Victorians also didn't really have thermometers either. So instead what they used to do was a technique you may have used at home at some point. A little pinky finger into the chocolate. We feel around, making sure it's nice and cold. And if no managers are looking, we need a little taste and make sure your chocolate is nice and smooth before we pull it into these molds. Now, does anyone know who these little guys are? Anyone know what that might be? These are our lovely chuckle beans. You might see them around somewhere. You never know. So, all of these will be filled with our lovely dairy milk chocolate, filling out those gaps nice and evenly, using the knife just like so. Scrape off all the edges, make sure you're keeping your molds nice and clean. Just makes washing up easier, really. Just like so. Big scrape, and we have our lovely chocolate pieces. Before these go into the fridge, there's one last thing that we need to do. Start tapping the molds. And as we do, you may be able to see we get some big bubbles that are coming up to the surface and popping away. So as I flipped all this chocolate around, a lot of air's been introduced to it, and we need to tap it all out, make sure that there's no holes left behind in which our chocolate sets. Do that for about another minute or so. That's about it. You can imagine I did that, I'm not doing it. It's loud, it's annoying, I don't really fancy it. So, I'm going to skip on to the fun bit instead. Because, as far as I'm concerned, chocolate is over. We're making chocolate, that's it. But, we make some solid scented chocolates. We make some that have caramel fillings, fudge fillings, marshmallow fillings, all of those lovely, lovely fillings. And if I want to do that, I left no room in my chocolate mold. So what I need to do is get some of this chocolate out so I can replace it. So make it rain chocolate. Just a little bit. And what we're going to do, big scrapes, just to clean up a little. And as you may be able to see, we end up with lovely dairy milk chocolate shells that we can fill with all of your favourite toppings. So this is going to go sit over there for a couple of minutes while it air dries, and we'll get one out from the fridge that we did earlier. It takes about 40 minutes to set all your lovely chocolate in the fridge. And what we're going to do, a little bit of a twist, and in 3, 2, 1, we get our lovely tempered dairy milk chocolate. So, the way you know that these are nice and tempered is they're nice and shiny. Look at the reflection of those. This is your lovely, silky smooth dairy milk chocolate. Now, unfortunately, I'm not allowed to offer these out to you guys. There's not enough to share, there's quite a lot of you, unfortunately. But also, I'm going to recycle it and reuse it over and over and over again and again. So it's not the best quality chocolate, and you've already had chocolate fun, you've got the pots. There's not really much to complain about, is there? So, unfortunately, as well, this is the end of my talk about chocolate making. If you have any questions, feel free to come and let me know. But if not, please enjoy the rest of your day. My name's Owen. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget about all the outside activities as well. Have a go on Paulville and stuff like that. I don't want you to leave a bad review saying you missed everything. It's all outside. So once you're done with here, just out to the right and into the place where you get to play with chocolate and watch a fun film. So thank you very much, guys. Please enjoy.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Look, there's a monkey drummer. We had an 4D experience, and they gave us 3D glasses to watch it. They even let us write with chocolate.
I didn't know your name properly. It's my signature.
That's not too Thank you for watching and remember to like and subscribe.